What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes news for January 11th, 2024. And today we're going to be breaking down the Starlight melody. So as you guys know, the past few Starlight melodies have really sucked because they have not lined up with Prophet Orb events. And then on top of that, some of them didn't even count like Soul Awakenings when there's also a Soul Awakening Gala at the same time. So this is a really, really good one. It's a chance to cash in Prophet Orbs if you are doing Soul Awakenings. And again, we're going to be talking about the Soul Awakening Gala because it has the additional up to 600 points. I don't think for the average player you should ever go for 600 points. 300 should be the goal because, well, the math breaks down pretty easily here today. If you can do a full loop of Prophet Orbs, and even if you don't have any Fantasy Stars saved up, you can actually get a lot of really good stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let's jump right into it. So of course the main goal here is to get to this 1,000 point chest down here. Gives you a bunch of different options on things that you can claim out, and there's a couple different ways to get to it. First off, for this event there seems to be no caps on any of the categories according to the WeChat. Sometimes they like cap Prophet Orbs at 1,000, but technically there is no cap. So if you do have a ton of Prophet Orbs, you can kind of shift your values around wherever you need to in this event. That's the best part. If you don't need to do any Soul Awakenings, if you have a ridiculous amount of Prophet Orbs, I guess you could do that or save it up for an additional event. But 1 point per Prophet Orb, 1 point per 3 Honey or Aurora Stars spent in the Fantasy Factory, and 5 points per Soul Awakening. So the goal here, first and foremost, is for free to play trying to get this. So if you are able to do full orbs, it's pretty much required. Now, of course, one thing to note is if you have a jigsaw puzzle, if you have saved Aurora Stars, this is the 400 Fantasy Factory stars that most people get on average. However, you can get more than that in an event, and you can spend more of your Aurora gems technically as well. So just keep this in mind. This is like pretty much the lowest value you should see on this. So as this number goes up, these two can go down. But in reality, I think for a free-to-play player, you want to be able to do a full quad loop of Prophet Orbs this week, and you're going to want to go for the 300 point mark, which probably is going to be more like 50 to 55 Soul Awakenings, depending on your luck. If you have a bunch of those crystals saved up, the Soul Awakening crystals, that will mean you probably have to do less Soul Awakenings, which is good. But again, this is a very much sliding scale type of event, and it's something to be aware of. If as one of these changes, the other ones, like if Fantasy Factory stars go up, the other ones will go down. Technically, if you do more than the 8 times loop 640 Prophet Orbs, so long as we got to just check in game before it goes live to make sure that there is no cap on the points. That's the biggest point. See if there is a cap. According to the spoilers, there is no cap. But that's pretty much what you can do. One thing to note, this artifact selection chest here does not have the new cat. So if you're looking for the new cat artifact, this is not one to go for. And again, like I said, in this event, I would highly recommend most people never to go for the 600 point mark. For the average player, the biggest rewards here are those Cores of Origin and those Sublimation chests. Now, if you're in a situation like my account or a very late game account who pretty much has all the Sublimation and Cores of Origin they need, like mostly, in reality, you want to go for this tier and get some additional resources if you are pushing Destiny Transition. Granted, if you're in that spot, you're probably at least somewhat of a spender anyway, so going for this isn't like completely out of bounds or anything. But again, this is the big part we are talking about here. Now, remember, there's also a Lolipop factory card, which doesn't, of course, include some resources and stuff, but on top of that, it also includes a 3 times multiplier for this event. One thing to note too, technically you get double the honey stars as well. So in reality, we could probably even modify this because you should be getting 800. Ooh, you know what? That's a really good point. I forgot about the double honey stars. Let me change these calculations for the stuff in the description. So I did make some modifications to these calculations because, again, I totally forgot that you technically get double honey stars from this event. It's not the packages that you get doubles of like a lot of the ones. Like the rewards you get the stars, which are double, which means even if you are like, honestly, you should be getting even more than 800 because you have an additional 35 lollipops too. So that's like another 1 or 2 levels. We're just gonna keep this base as basic as possible, as like this is the borderline lowest you could possibly get. 800 fantasy factory stars with the 3 times multiplier is 800 points, because every 3 you get 3 points for every 1, or no, sorry, you get 1 point for every 3 stars that you spend. So yeah, you can just multiply that out, and that basically means you only need to do 67 Prophet Orbs if you want to do 1 loop. And when we're talking about 1 loop, we mean we're only going to 1,000 points with this. That is pretty much it. And then of course you have Prophet Orbs here as well, 67 of them for the extra 200 points. Or of course, if you're not doing any Prophet Orbs and you're doing the Fantasy Factory with the package, it's only going to take about, I made a calculation there, about 14 Soul Awakenings. So in reality, you're probably going to want to go for more anyway, at least to the 20-ish mark, because at least 20-ish mark gets you to like the 150 for like the smaller sublimation chest. But again, it really just depends on what you guys kind of figure out calculation wise. And then I put another calculation down here, basically going for the 2,000 points, which is 2 of these chests. You can get a total of 3. You can go up to 3,000 points. However, that is going to be a much bigger deal here. So yeah, essentially what you want to do here is you want to get the Fantasy Factory, which again is very much a lowball number right here. And honestly, it can only take about 400 Prophet Orbs between the 2 of those things there. You should come up with your point total that you have. Or, of course, if you are going for the 50-ish Soul Awakenings to hit about the 300 point mark in the Soul Awakening Gala, you have the Fantasy Factory stars. It'll take about 150 Prophet Orbs. So it really just depends on what you're doing. Free to play, though, I mean, there's really only one route, and that is you got to have 640 Prophet Orbs, and you have to basically be doing around the 50-ish Soul Awakenings you'd be doing for the 300 point mark. If you can't do both of those and you're not spending on the pack, you are better off not participating in this event and just keep saving up. Again, this is another one. If you can do the Soul Awakenings but you can't do the Prophet Orbs as free to play, again, you might want to just save. Even though there is the Soul Awakening Gala, you want to try to double dip on your resources whenever you're using Soul Awakenings, because Soul Awakenings are hitting a lot more events lately too. So you really want to play this game of like, is it a good enough event to get double bonuses? And this is one of those situations where you're getting the Starlight Melody and you're getting the Soul Awakening Gala together. So you want to keep that in mind, because some events even lately have like Soul Awakenings that don't even have a Gala attached to them, and then that's not even that great. Like we had what at like New Year or whatever, or Christmas. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think. It is nice to see at least an occasional better Starlight Melody. It was getting a little down and out when we had it like lined up with imps and stuff like that. It just, the math didn't work out well. But for Prophet Orbs, it does work out pretty well if you've been saving them up. And this is definitely a Prophet Orb event to go in on if you can also do Soul Awakenings. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time.